This morning, a reservoir close to Kyiv. Part of a massive Russian missile and drone strike. The targets, once again, Ukraine's energy infrastructure. This is part of Kyiv's hydroelectric plant. Officials say the dam is still intact, but warn if it's destroyed, it would flood much of the city. More than 100 cruise and ballistic missiles and around 100 drones struck 15 different regions across Ukraine, killing at least 6 people. Air defense systems were in action. This soldier firing at a missile with a machine gun. But this was one of the biggest coordinated strikes Ukraine has faced, leading to power and water outages. Russia claims to be targeting infrastructure, providing support to the Ukrainian army. But this appears part of a consistent strategy to weaken Ukrainian morale by disrupting energy supply ahead of the freezing winter months. President Zelensky today called for more international support.
We should finally begin joint interception of Russian missiles and drones. In various Ukrainian regions, we could have done more in order to protect life if our European neighbours had worked together with our F-16 jets and air defence.
Ukrainian forces are still battling inside Russia's Kursk region, having launched a shock counter-invasion earlier this month. But Zelensky wants allies to lift restrictions on Western long-range weapons, allowing him to strike deeper into Russia. Today, a Ukrainian drone hit a building in the Russian city of Saratov, more than 500 miles away from the border. But Ukraine is still massively outgunned. Amongst the Ukrainians killed today, 61-year-old farmer Olya Davidova. His home in the Zaporizhzhia region rocked by a missile. His sister trying to process the loss.
I was very scared. Because of the explosion, I was still shaking. And then I saw him and I couldn't recognize him. There was black dust everywhere. I don't know, he was unrecognizable.
Yesterday, a British security advisor, Ryan Evans, working with the Reuters news agency, was killed in another Russian strike on a hotel. As they sheltered in the city's subway this morning, some Kyiv residents sang the national anthem in defiance. The assault on their country, though, shows no sign of slowing.
Well, joining me now from Kyiv is the Ukrainian MP Maria Mezhentseva. Maria, we've just seen pictures of that vast hydropower plant near Kyiv. Why is it such a worry that that's being targeted now by the Russians?
Well, they failed today, and I must say that the very last examinations can tell us that they were not successful. So Russian terrorists were not successful. You know, the scene that I was witnessing right now with other viewers of your channel, this at least 52,000 people rescuing in the shelter in metro stations. Dozens and thousands of those who were born today could not be born normally. They had to be taken immediately to the shelter from maternity leave hospitals. Many were wounded, and as you mentioned, 6 were killed. All this is an effect of a very targeted Russian attacks on exclusive sites for electricity and water supply, of course, including residential buildings, of high-story buildings and private houses. I myself was leaving Kharkiv with the only train that was on time today from my region because all others were forced to be delayed. So it caused a lot of abruptions in transportation, and it caused many difficulties in logistics for the whole country.
Maria,
most of it of which was targeted today in the morning.
And Maria, you point to the targeting of energy infrastructure. We hear that 60% of Ukraine's energy infrastructure has now been knocked out. Do you think this could be the worst winter of the war that's coming?
You know, we are thinking and we're being told that every winter might be the worst, but we want this winter to be the best one. Probably, if we may say, we're trying to redirect our facilities in terms of energy. We're trying to make less dependent regions on centralized system and diversify it where we can. So, for instance, in my home city, Kharkiv, electricity eruptions are way lower than in Kyiv because of the amount of people living here, IDPs that were forced to stay here. And so that all matters. Of course, during summer, we were not having holidays at all. We were trying to conduct this important task set up by President Zelensky for the Minister of Energy and Regional Administration.
Very sorry to cut in, but we don't have too much time left with you. I wanted to ask you about President Zelensky and asking the US in particular to allow Ukraine to target sites deep into Russian territory with long-range missiles. Do you think that President Biden will ever agree?
I think that the terrorist attacks that occurred all over the country today must strengthen the international response for UK, France, US, and other NATO allies to lift up the limitation for the long-range missiles for the purpose of targeting the spots of evil. We have proven how effective we can be. I think we can prove it again because the autumn and winter and hard times are coming. There should be no protracted decisions currently.
Okay, Maria Mezentseva, thank you very much for speaking with us. Thank you.